Okay, so I'm on a roll today. This is the fourth video I've made today, and what I want to talk about right now is that you don't have to have a lot in order to get a dealer's license. A lot of people are afraid to get the license because they think they got to get a lot and they're not prepared to pay all the overhead because they're just getting their feet wet in the industry. And I can understand that. I mean, it's major risk to go and get a lot and get insurance and have to pay all this overhead with not really knowing how the whole business operates, not having the finance company set up, not having the connections set up. It's a lot of responsibility, and I can see a lot of fear associated with that. But I don't know how it works in different states. I know that different states offer a lot of the same requirements that California does. But as far as the California DMV is concerned, you don't have to have like your typical lot like you see a lot of used car dealers have. The minimum that you have to have is actually 2 spaces. You have to have a sign, which is a certain width and height. I don't know exactly what it is, but this is all on the California DMV occupational licensing website. They have all this information. And what you have to do is you have to have an office facing outside. So 2 parking spaces that are designated for your cars for sale, a sign. You have to have an office facing outside, and that's the bare minimum. And now, of course, you also have to get the bond, insurance. You have to fill out all the same procedure. You have to get a zoning verification from the city. You have to make sure that particular area, it's okay for you to conduct a retail used car business there. So that's what I had to do when I got my first place. But there's a lot of places already in place where there was a previous used car dealer there, guys that start small. There's actually one area around where I work with a huge lot, and there's 7 or 8 different spaces divided, and each one is designated for a certain dealer. And then there's 7 or 8 offices. So a lot of these types of places are already intact. You just have to go to them. And it's very minimal risk because you only have like a small designated area, anywhere from 2 to 8 spaces. The rent's not that much. And if the business doesn't end up working out for you, then you can leave at any time. But at least you don't have to sign a year lease and take on this huge responsibility of paying a high overhead on a big car lot. As I had stated previously in the video, go on the California DMV website or whatever state you're in. I don't know how it works in other states, but as far as the state of California is concerned, all you have to do is have a 2-spot minimum to display your vehicles with a sign with your business name on it, address, telephone number, and you have to have an office facing outside. Those are the main requirements. All you're required are 2 spaces. Okay, so I mean, you're golden. I mean, you get the license with that, and you don't have to worry about paying all the overhead. So if you want more information regarding that, go to the occupational licensing section of the California DMV. It'll give you all the information you need to know. If you're just starting out, I recommend you start small so that you can learn the business. And as you learn the business and you make the connections, and if you're prepared to, you can go ahead and get a big lot and get more into financing. But in the meantime, starting small, go for the 2 parking spot minimum, or see if there's other places with, I don't know, because I'm in an area that's a ton of people are here. So a lot of these designated spaces for guys just starting out are already in place. But if you're in a part of the country which is a lower population, more rural, then, it's probably a little different. And so they won't have these designated spaces and offices. So make sure you go on the DMV website and see what the requirements are for your state. I'm sure there's a lot of other states that have a similar requirement as the state of California, but it's really not that much. You don't have to get a huge spot, okay? That's the main premise of this whole video, is that you only, in order to get the license, you have to have a 2-spot display. Now, if you want to, and you have to have the $50,000 bond. If you want to do wholesale, it's even a lower bond and not as many requirements as a retail license. But obviously, I mean, retail license, you can wholesale and retail. And if you just want to wholesale, sell at auctions, sell to other dealers, you can do that, and it's much easier to get. So if you have any questions as far as getting started and starting on a very small level and getting your feet wet, before you get a huge lot. Leave the comments in the comment section, and I'll answer any questions you guys have. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video.